When did you know a student wouldn't walk out of your classroom alive? Samir fell out of his chair behind me and started clutching his nose as blood poured between his fingers. The entire class gasped as he tried to speak through the blood flowing down his chin. Something in my lunch. Then his eyes rolled back and he collapsed onto the floor. His body went limp and more blood pooled around his head from his nose. I dropped the marker and rushed to his side and yelled for someone to get help. Before I could check his pulse, a guy named Luca Olsen jumped up from his seat in the back row. He pushed through the crowd of students and screamed, "Wait! Don't move him! I know what's wrong with him. I'll be back." He sprinted out of the classroom before I could stop him. I called the office and told them to send the nurse immediately and call 911. Mrs. Schroeder arrived within minutes carrying her medical bag. She checked Samir's pulse and her face went pale. She announced his heartbeat was dangerously slow and getting weaker. Without hesitation, she pointed at Valerie, the captain of the swim team, and told her to start chest compressions to the beat of "Staying Alive." Valerie positioned herself and began compressions while the rest of the class formed a circle around them. Many were crying or holding each other. I kept checking the door for paramedics while Mrs. Schroeder monitored Samir's vital signs. After 2 minutes, she checked his breathing and shook her head. She tilted his head back and gave him 2 rescue breaths. His chest rose and fell, but he remained unresponsive. Valerie resumed compressions, sweat dripping down her face from the effort. The class watched helplessly as their classmate's lips turned blue, and his skin took on a grayish tone. Mrs. Schroeder pulled out a penlight and lifted Samir's eyelids one at a time. The left pupil contracted normally, but the right remained fixed and dilated. She looked up with a mix of relief and concern, saying he was alive but barely. She instructed students to elevate his legs to keep blood flowing to his brain. 10 agonizing minutes passed before Luca burst back through the door. He was breathing hard and had garbage stains on his clothes from diving through trash cans. In his hands was a cafeteria tray with a half-eaten sandwich and apple core. Everyone turned to stare as he set it on a nearby desk. "I found his lunch. Look at the sandwich." We gathered around while 2 students continued CPR on Samir. The sandwich had 2 bites taken out of it, and between the bread and turkey was a layer of something black. Not mold or rot, but a deliberately spread substance that looked like tar. It had a chemical sheen and had partially absorbed into the bread. Luca carefully pulled the sandwich apart, revealing more of the black paste. Some had mixed with the mayo, creating gray streaks. The smell was faintly chemical, making several students back away. Mrs. Schroeder grabbed it and immediately told everyone not to touch it before calling poison control. The paramedics finally arrived as she was describing the substance. They took over CPR and started an IV while one bagged the sandwich as evidence. I heard them radio about a possible poisoning case and mention preparing decontamination procedures. The whole class watched as they wheeled Samir out on a stretcher. Police arrived shortly after and sealed off Samir's desk. They interviewed students who'd been sitting nearby and took the rest of the lunch tray as evidence. Luca explained finding it in the cafeteria dumpster, after remembering Samir had thrown it away after only a few bites. As the officers questioned us, I noticed them paying special attention to who had access to Samir's lunch. They asked about his friends, enemies, and daily routine. The cafeteria would be shut down pending investigation,